We're going to read the description of an ancient UFO, a sighting by the philosopher Plutarch. Now we know that even in the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth Hermes Trismegistus, the Atlantean, he says that they had interstellar flight and they even had interdimensional travel. Let's remember that the word Egypt is actually a Greek word meaning Egypt, meaning flying over the Aegean, flight, iptamenos, flight. So what does Plutarch say? Reading the description of a UFO sighting by the philosopher Plutarch, most people think that the testimonies of UFO sightings are exclusively a phenomenon of this time, but especially after the Second World War. But reports also exist in previous centuries, not only in Greece and Egypt, but also in Arabia, in India, China, and the Far East, and of course by Native Americans. So the report also exists in previous centuries. Plutarch himself has saved such a testimony of the appearance of a UFO over a battlefield in antiquity. The quote is from Plutarch's book of Lefkolos, from the parallel lives and occurring during the Third Mithriatic War, which was 74 to 66 BC. In the passages, Plutarch mentions that Lefkolos, with his Roman army, was ready to fight against the king of Pontus Mithridates and his ally Marius, whom Sertorius had sent to help Mithridates. While the Roman army was arranged against the army of Mithridates and everything was ready for the battle to begin, suddenly an unidentified flying object appears from the clouds. And being in view of the wars and having admired the crowd, he wished to refrain from fighting and grind in the time. Marius, whom Sertorius from Iberia sends Mithridates with a strong general, answering him and provoking, he became in the ranks as a commander already. And as for those who are advantageous, the obsessed change, the exhortation of the deeds, a large flames of the camp of the camps, a large body of the camp, the spectrum is distinguished. And this then, when they saw in Phrygia about the so-called Otrias, the passion happened. That's and translating is, when he saw the enemies, he was surprised by their multitudes and wanted to avoid the battle and delay, because Marius, whom Sertorius had sent from Iberia, that is Spain, to Mithridates as a general with a military force, met him and challenged him, lining up to fight. And while they were already marching towards the conflict, without any apparent change taking place, the wind opened and a great body like a flame was seen rushing down, very much like a jar in the shape and of incandescent silver in color, and both armies were terrified by the vision, and they retired. So they say that this happened in Phrygia near the so-called Otria. This event occurred during the Third Mithridatic Wars in the years 74 to 66 BC. And the source is Plutarch Lefkolos, chapter 8, verses 5 and 6. So we do have stories written of sightings of UFOs. And also, I remember that, way back a couple of months back, I did post a video concerning Alexander the Great going into the Taklamakan desert, where, Taklamakan means you go in but you can't come out. And he went there with 30,000 of his warriors. He lost over 10,000 of them. He went there because he wanted to meet an Atlantean extraterrestrial who would be landing there with a UFO. And this Atlantean was to give him a very advanced hyper weapon, hyper technology. And supposedly he did get it because it was something like the lightning rod of Zeus. And this supposedly was able to transmutate material substance into spirit, into another dimension. And they said that he actually had found it. Let's also remember in the Battle of Tyre, when Alexander the Great was fighting there were UFOs that supposedly shot laser beams around the wall of the city of Tyre, and that way he was able to enter the city and capture it. So, very strange going-ons with these UFOs. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. I translated this for you from a Greek article. Thank you. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.